past couple of weeks, Elijah O'Neal has really stepped up. Can you just talk about his performance and how he looks in this coming game with a good Iowa State line you're facing?
Yeah, he's just such a physical presence at the end, and he is such a guy that he tries to do everything right. I mean, and when you coach him, it's like sometimes he look at you like he goes, "Man, I let you down." Like he's a guy that just never wants to let a coach down, never wants to let his teammates down. He's an incredible human being, and he's having a great year. I mean, he's so physical against the run. He's rushing the passer better than he ever has. He's always affecting the pocket. So it's just great to see his progress and his development.
Hey, Coach, Rocco, you obviously went against him last year, and he had a pretty good game against you guys, even though you came out the win. Have you noticed anything that he's improved on specifically going into this week?
You know, he's just a good football player. He's incredibly consistent. You can see he's the heart and soul of that offense, and it really goes as he goes. When they need to throw the football, he's been there, done that. He has a really good talented receiving core to get the ball to. His tight ends is the best tight end group we've seen all year. He's just a great football player. I mean, that's who he is. He just reminds me of that kind of, that Brock Purdy, Iowa State. He's not the biggest dude in the world, but he's mobile, keeps plays alive. He's really that kind of new age quarterback that you just can't be comfortable. Just you got to put a spy on him. You got to put people on him because he's going to run around and create.
Ryan, they play a ton of 12 and 13 personnel.
Yeah.
ASU's played a lot of 12 and 13.
Yeah.
How similar are those structures, and what are the challenges with that?
Yeah, I mean they do such a good job. Their offensive coordinator is one of the young rising guys in the business, and he's they're just very diverse. They do a great job of self-scouting themselves. They do a great job of trying to run the same plays out of different looks to get one guy's eyes bad or get you misaligned. And they just do a lot, and they give you a lot to prepare for. So a lot more than we have, that we've seen from our offense, because in fall camp and in the spring, our offense is basically just trying to get the fundamentals down. You're trying to work on things to become routine, playing hard, playing fast, playing aggressive and physical. Where these guys are going to change every week, and the looks that they give you, the formations, but the plays are pretty much going to stay the same. They're just trying to either get a running back on a corner in terms of tackling in space, or they're going to try to get some type of mismatch in the passing game. So it's a very well thought out system, and we got to be prepared.
What do you think have been the differentiating factors between games where you guys have defended the quarterback run better than games where you maybe haven't?
Well, give me an example.
Like the Utah game and Houston, for example, versus like being better against Will Hammond.
Yeah, well, I mean, when teams are committing to run the quarterback, they're basically going all in to saying, hey, we're not going to get our quarterback hurt. And when teams have to resort to running the quarterback, that means they don't feel good about running the ball with their running backs in traditional run game. So, and when they're direct running, it's basically triple option football. So, when you look at this past game, again, they ran the quarterback successfully on a 2nd and 10, a 2nd and 9, and a 2nd and 8, and 2 of those 2nd and longs were on the same drive, and we figured out what they were doing, and we got into an adjustment, and last 4 drives and then scoring points, and I think they had 2 first downs or something. You know what I mean? So, it's a game of adjustments, and it's a game of it's a game that you can make the same argument, and you'd be asking me the same question. Wow, you've been really great at defending the deep ball all year, and all of a sudden, hey, in the fourth quarter they threw 3 posts over your head. Well, that's because we were trying to defend the quarterback run game. You know what I mean? So it's just a balance. You gotta find ways and find times to be able to stop what they're doing. But really, our goal on defense is, hey, we want to keep the ball in front of us, get them to 3rd down, get them to situations where we need to win the game. And that game, along with every other game, it's not just one thing that people are doing. It's situations, and when it really boils down to it, if we execute that first 3rd and 3 of the game, where we had 2 guys miss a tackle, and our cup in the back end wasn't great, and he breaks for a 50-yard run, do they run the quarterback as much? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those plays change the game. So you just never know. And we got, I got to continue to script it, continue to rep it, and rep those situations, and continue to call the game and get our guys comfortable, in the situation, the situational calls. So we know when those moments come up that we got to win those moments.
Well, Jeff Simpson's was talking about that next man up mentality that he's had with Sam. How do you feel like your defense has displayed that in a year where the whole team's been really banged up?
Yeah, I mean, like I told our defense, I've been telling our defense all week, like, hey, we've improved in so many areas. I mean, traditional run right now, sometimes like when teams run trick plays or they're having a direct run to your quarterback, that's a hats off to your defense because they're feeling like they can't run the football in traditional run. And you've seen what we've done all year against traditional run. No one's been able to run the ball on us, and that's because we work it, we rep it, and we work really hard at game planning it, and our guys digest, the game plan, and they knock out the run. When teams have to direct run the quarterback, they're literally saying this is the only way we're going to be able to win the football game. And if they do that, they're trying to get us out of what we normally do so they can throw the ball over our heads. And so it's that chess match, it's that strategy. Us needing to have the answers to be able to stop the quarterback run, like at the end of the game, and we needed to do that. But we also need to pick and choose our times to maybe gamble that, hey, this is when they're going to run the quarterback. So, the biggest thing is we're better on third and medium, we're better on third and long, we're a little better in the red zone than last year. We're better against the traditional run than we were last year. Early in the season, we gave us some big plays in the passing game. We've literally tampered that down. We've really tamped that down the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we got to continue to do that. You know what I mean? So it's really about us. And if we get a guy that's injured, it's just next man up. And all those reps they got in camp and spring ball, we got to continue to manage the process because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that we really have total control of. And that's what we're going to continue to try to have control of.
And on the topic of that, what does it say about the leadership that you have on defense that a lot of guys, like for example Jordan Crook, are playing through injuries when they're listed as questionable going into the game and leaving it all out there?
It just comes down to guys loving the game of football. You know what I mean? And really, it just boils down to those guys feel a responsibility to the guys around them. They know when they sit down, even though we do have a next man up mentality, they feel responsibility to their teammates. And I'm just telling you, it's just those guys playing through being banged up and doing those things and getting in the training room every day. It's just showing a genuine appreciation for everybody and everything that's going on in this program. So those guys are great human beings, and listen, your habits are always a great predictor of your future success. And we talk about it all the time. We can look at guys' habits and know who's just going to kill it once they get out in the real world, and it's because of the habits that they show here every day.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you guys.